Good morning and welcome to 1 Million Cups. We are thrilled to have you here today. Please make sure that you are on mute as we jump in. For those of you who are new to 1 Million Cups, it is a part of the Kauffman Foundation, a national organization which launched 1 Million Cups chapters all across the country. We do have several here in Northern Virginia, but there's over 120 across the country. We meet at 9 a.m. every Wednesday, and the reason we're called 1 Million Cups is because we consume copious amounts of coffee as we work with business owners to help solve their challenges. And so as we kick off our meeting today, we do have some new folks. I would love for you just to share your name, company name, and how you heard about us. In addition, anybody in the Zoom call can please share your information in chat. We'd love to get to know more about you. So to kick us off, Matt, would you please introduce yourself, your company name, and how you heard about us?
My name is Matt Burgess. My company name, I'm an independent contractor, so I work for myself, and I heard about 1 Million Cups. I formerly attended the groups in Leesburg, and I think I just
Yes,
found
sir.
them through a local commerce
How you
site.
been?
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right. I am going to ask anybody else. I think, Effie, if you would introduce yourself, I think everybody else are familiar
Yes.
faces.
Thank you so much. Yes, my name is Effie Safaris. I'm with FVC Bank, and I'm a business development officer, working with both business clients and personal clients, whether it's deposits, loans, or ancillary services. Look forward to the opportunity, and thank you for allowing me in today.
Thrilled to have you here. We have lots of familiar faces. Great to see you, Michael Butera, Tom Scheib, McKinley. Thank you so much. Gwen, good to see you as well. Please, everybody in the meeting, introduce yourself in chat. You're welcome to put your name, email, phone number, or if you have an ask and need help from the group, drop it into chat. In the meantime, one of the things we do, which we will do in our in-person meeting next week, it's hybrid, so we'll be at Mason Enterprise Center, is we give away swag. And the best way to earn swag is to scan this QR code. When you check in, you might get a message that says you've won swag. And so if you have, at our next in-person meeting, you can claim that swag. I believe that Maria may have won swag recently, and she'll be acquiring that next week on the 6th when we meet in person. So again, please scan the QR code. It does help us let the Kauffman Foundation know that our group is active and working. And again, did I say that you get swag? You do. So please do scan that. It helps us help you. You'll see this black and white QR code on the slides coming up. So as I move ahead, don't stress. You can scan it again later. And if you haven't noticed, I'm practicing my radio voice. So you're welcome. All right, welcome to 1 Million Cups, Fairfax County. We do have organizers in our group. We all volunteer. We are not paid to do this. We do it because we love catching up every Wednesday morning with business leaders in the business community and helping share insight, advice, and helping entrepreneurs grow here in Northern Virginia. We also have brand ambassadors. If you are interested in being an ambassador or an organizer, please let us know. There is a link that I'll have someone from our team drop in chat. So if you're interested, you can apply to be an organizer. It's basically meeting for this meeting, and then we plan every Monday morning. We catch up for 30 minutes and plan the week and make sure we're good with our pipeline. So thank you to our organizers. You guys make this happen, and we appreciate it. As I said, this is a national organization with a local on-the-ground mission. It's all about not only educating our presenters, so each week we have a business owner present, but we also have a monthly town hall where we provide valuable insight. So if you have a topic you're interested in, please let us know. We are looking at planning one for November and December. Our key pillars. This is all about presentations, not pitches. We are not investing in companies here. However, if you know a business owner who has a challenge, they can come present. If you have a business owner who does want to pitch and needs feedback on their pitch, that can be welcome. But this is really all about authentic connections. It's not about transactional networking. This is run, as I said, by the business community for the community, and we are radically and intentionally inclusive. To make all of this happen, we have our space sponsor, which again is Mason Enterprise Center in Fairfax. Eddie Hill is the director there. You can copy his email down. What you should know about the Mason Enterprise Center in Fairfax, they are right off of 66. They are an incubator with several hundred business owners who are members. You can be a virtual member. You can drop in and use their boardroom space, office space, or training room space. You can also be a member and have office space there, especially if you're a small team. Or if you're a team that wants to have their leadership team meet in a specific place, it can be a great way to optimize your real estate. What's unique about MEC is that they also have dedicated mentors. They have 18 mentors to help their business members grow. So if that's something you think your business needs or is interested in, please check it out. They also provide programming and events that are open to the public. So something, again, to go look at. I'll put a link to their website in chat. And with that space sponsor update, I'm going to hand it over to Amy Hughes for 48 Blocks and our coffee sponsor update.
Good morning, 1 Million Cups. Happy Wednesday. It's exciting to see the numbers grow as we've been working through this fall. I'm Amy Hughes. I own 48 Blocks Fine Candy. We are handcrafting gourmet marshmallows as well as fruit pates and caramels in over 100 flavors right here in Fairfax County. We don't do a lot with chocolate, but we do just about everything with anything else. And if you go to our e-commerce shop at the website, 48blocksfinecandy.com, you can find a selection of products that's currently available. And at the end of the week, we will have our full holiday selection available online. I probably drink about 1 million cups of coffee a year, so happy to be here and happy to have this group.
You probably all forgot about the space sponsor update. Now you're just thinking about 48 Blocks of Fine Candy, and that is okay. What I do want to remind you is please use chat. So we will have this be moderated once Will, our presenter today, presents. We'll have it moderated, but you can ask questions in chat. We'll be keeping an eye on chat. You can also drop in suggestions in chat. We do save the chat. You can also save the chat at the end of the meeting to make sure that we can have follow-up conversations outside of today, but also to give to Will, our presenter, to make sure he has all of the advice and insights from the group. As I said earlier, this is recorded, so we provide all of the video recording as well. So Will, you're welcome to take copious notes, but you're also welcome just to be fully present and hear people's suggestions and feedback. Once you give your presentation, we'll move into Q&A. Folks can raise their hand digitally, or you can wave frantically, and I will see you. I'll ask you to unmute, or a moderator will ask you to unmute, and then you can ask your question and then just go back on mute. Just a quick reminder for organizers and visitors, sometimes we can get a little bit verbose. And so although we love words, I do ask that we keep it concise so we can give Will as many comments as possible. And Will, same for you, as you go to answer questions or provide context, just try to keep it short so we can get you as much input as you need. We all believe in being positive and constructive, so just keep that in mind as you're providing feedback. Not been a problem, but it's always good to be explicit. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Will. And Will, as you need me to click through slides, just say next, and I'll be happy to do so. We're thrilled to have you here. And with that, please take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Jen. I appreciate that. I came here today through Alex Mattini, who's a very good friend of mine that I've known over the years. And we just actually reconnected last week from probably about 5 years ago, just in the streets of DC. So it was a pleasure to hear what he's doing with 1 Million Cups Fairfax and inviting myself and Insperity here today. You can go next. So the challenge question, being able to capture a pipeline of customers who would find our solutions collaborative with their mission and value and goals. So Insperity is a company that is basically built to help businesses have better presence in communities and being able to provide solutions that meet the mission, value, and goals. Next. Oh, well, just to give you a bit more information. So Insperity was organized in 1986. We've been around for 40 plus years. We've had the ability to be able to shape small and mid-sized businesses in ways that they can find solutions to help them manage their costs, to mitigate liabilities, and to be able to enhance productivity, most of all, once a lot of those things align themselves. Next. As I mentioned, founded in 1986. I'm sorry, I have my readers on, so I'm trying to also see the questions as well. When you anticipate launching your business, that's really not applicable to this per se. And then when did you sell your first service or product? Let me go to number 4. Where do you operate? So we're out of Houston, Texas, which is where the company was based. We have over 100 locations across the country. I'm in the McLean, Virginia, Tyson's area, helping to work with businesses in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Again, you'll hear me say this time and time again, managing and mitigating costs. Managing costs, mitigating liabilities, and helping businesses properly grow and scale. So those are 2 different things that we can discuss. But ultimately, it's for the business to be able to be better, to be able to focus strategically without the back end areas that they have to always kind of be mindful of. Next. The way that we generate revenue is we provide full-scale HR solutions. We work with businesses to, again, help give them the infrastructure that they need in order for them to be able to be successful. So areas where you generally will see companies in terms of from the growth standpoint, obviously they have to hire people, they have to offer benefits, they have to be able to have comprehensive solutions. And most of all, to keep employees engaged. I mean, my wife just sent me an email this morning, a text this morning saying that, you know, she just started a new job last year. They sent her a, you know, happy anniversary. She said, I never received that before. And that's part of engagement, right? Like that's part of the area where it helps you as an employee to be able to want to be present, to want to be valuable, and to be able to be a productive employee. Verticals that I work in are not-for-profit organizations, startup companies, government contracting companies, obviously being in the DMV area. But we work in a number of different verticals, hospitality as well. And again, helping the business to shape themselves from a growth and a scale standpoint. Next. So our value proposition, we offer companies the infrastructure, as I mentioned, to be able to focus on human capital management. That's the workforce. Being able to allow employees to focus on their role, for the business owner to focus on the branding and recognition of the company, and to be able to be successful at the end of the day. Our ideal client, as I mentioned to you, is any, you know, not-for-profit groups. It could be startup companies. It could be government contracting companies. It could be hospitality. Size range could be anywhere from 5 to 500 employees. It also could be, you know, 1 to 5, just depending on what direction that they're planning on going. And then our sweet spot, where we generally have had, you know, the most success, I would say, is anywhere from 5 to 65 employees. And again, that's that range where that employer is looking at growing, and then that scale, that tick up with the scaling that it involves itself. We've seen that anywhere in the range of $5 million to $50 million, but also, again, it could be less than that from a revenue standpoint. What's unique value do we provide? We provide employees a very unique procurement model that gives them comprehensive benefits of which they can't get with working with a broker. So a company that is anywhere from 5 employees, 10 employees, 25 employees, they have to work pretty hard with the broker to be able to get the benefits, to be able to recruit, to be able to retain employees. We give them a model where there's a legal structure that we provide where we are basically encompassing them within an umbrella and providing them the ability to have workers' comp, EPLI insurance, health benefits, 401k, and then obviously the other ancillary details of the payroll, the HR background. I would also say, yeah, what differentiates us, not only just what I just explained in terms of human capital management solutions, the really big part about the value of what a company like Insperity offers is our client service. That's the model that provides, because one of the things that you will find if you've spoken with other business owners or have experienced it yourself is, how can this client service team help me be proactive to strategically grow? We do that hands-on. You've got a person that you speak to that's in person, that you have their phone number, you have their cell phone number, not a chat bot, not an 800 number of sorts. So it's just a very well approached delivery. Next. Our target audience, I mentioned that our ideal clients are and sweet spot. What companies or organizations could benefit from partnering with you in the past, and from what I've experienced. And just to give you a bit of background on myself, I've been in the financial services industry for about 26 years. I was a financial advisor. I was a managing director for retiree healthcare programs. I also had a partnership in a health insurance company. So I was mainly in financial services for 26 years. I made the daunting and crazy step to come into the human capital management space about 8 years ago. And the reason why I did it was because of the ability to be able to offer these type of benefits, understand what the business owner wants to do, how he can shape the employees and growing his workforce, and ultimately understanding, the nuances of coming into a business and selling the business. So that's just from my standpoint. But these are some of the companies and organizations that I've benefited from working with. Could be even more, but employee benefit companies, firms, CPAs, financial advisors, private equity firms. You start to see a lot of different partners and mutual collaborations come together for businesses that are focusing on workforce development. Some of the marketing channels I've been using now and in the past: LinkedIn, Sales Navigator. I don't know if anyone's aware of HighSpot, but it's a really cool mechanism where you can put together programming, targeted marketing detail, and you can kind of get a sense of what information that they're looking at page by page, right? So I can talk about that more in detail. Next. Who are our competitors? So I've shaped this a little bit to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like overall. But most of the PEO companies, TriNet, JustWorks, ADP, Total Source, those are our competitors in the PEO market, the public employer organization aspect. And then there are also this payroll and HR companies like Paycor, Paycom, Paylocity, ADP, Paychex. Where our company provides a unique perspective in terms of comparison is, again, we focus on the comprehensive benefit. Obviously the other PEO companies, kind of all of us kind of all do the same thing, but I would say that from the standpoint of Insperity, we really look at making sure that we're able to help them manage that cost, to be able to mitigate those liabilities, and again, to enhance the productivity. So we design strategically from a client service standpoint how that project management team can help influence and grow their business. Another company, another company is Ripley. That's also another PEO company, but also can handle in the payroll HR space. And then I mentioned just one other company, Heartland Payroll. We have the ability to not only just offer the PEO model, which covers the liability for the client. We take on that liability for the client. The things I mentioned earlier: workers' compensation, 401k, benefits, payroll, HR. We take on that liability, but we also have a component where we allow the business owner to handle that liability, which is what most business owners do. They choose their vendors, choose the benefits and the 401k provider. So just know we have that as an option as well. Next.
So just as we wrap up, first, Will, thank you for the presentation and background on Insperity. Just a reminder, the question you have for the group to help you consider is, how do you build a pipeline of customers based on the value proposition you've shared? And what I'm going to do now, if John Rutenberg can jump in as moderator, that would be fantastic. So you don't have to have me BMC and moderate. But we'll transition into ideas and questions. And so, John, please take it away.
Mhm.
Thanks very much, Jen, and thank you, Will. A round of applause for your presentation and for coming today. I
Thank
hope you become a regular attendee as we go forward and contribute, as you'll hear from people today. So, as Jen said earlier, Will, when someone makes a suggestion to you, say thank you so much, and then I'll ask for the next question or suggestion. You neither have to defend or explain things you've been doing for 100 years. Less is more.
Gotcha.
And now I say that to the audience, less is more. And so James will demonstrate best practices as his hand is up first. Again, thank you. James, you're up, man.
Thanks, John. Great presentation, Will. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
So you showed us the channels that you use. Can you talk a little bit about how you actually, what you're actually doing in those channels? So your LinkedIn, et cetera, et cetera. What are you actually doing in the channels to try and build the pipeline you have right now?
Yeah, really more so looking for connections, like past connections, mutual connections. That would be through LinkedIn, through Sales Navigator. Being able to present insights, webinars, topics of interest of the day that make sense from a workforce management standpoint. And, you know, being able to look at where people are from their business standpoint and what they do to develop business, giving them and painting them a picture as to how our solutions can work with theirs.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Great. So I'll throw a question out. So, Will, in your challenge of how do you get more business, and there's both the lead gen and lead management side.
Mhm.
And I think my suggestion is I would narrow the size of the company that you're looking at and identify 200 of them in Northern Virginia. And
Mhm.
I'm just going to say the companies are 50 to 200 people. You
Okay.
can refine that. To me, I think the effort to get the onesies and the fivesies don't justify your time. Getting a company of 50 or 150 is where I'd focus. And then it's a matter of identifying them. But
Yes.
I'll stop there. I think narrowing who your ideal prospect is your first step.
Yes. And that's a great point, John. You know, one of the things I have been doing is just that is segmenting my market search, right?
Right.
And identifying the proper personas within the business to
Good.
identify with CFOs,
Yeah.
HR directors,
Yeah.
COOs.
Yeah.
But also, you know, like you said, looking at the number and making sure it's worthwhile for them and as well as time-wise for myself. So excellent
Absolutely.
point.
And so just a final comment, you could have said to me, rather than what you did say, thank you very much, John. And then Rittenberg, the moderator, would have said, Jen, you're up.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. But thank you, man. Jen.
I'm sorry, I don't have a way to raise my hand on the
Yeah, go
phone.
ahead,
My
Alex.
Yeah,
apologies. My
Alex,
apologies.
no problem.
My dad always told me to surround myself with people smarter than myself, and Will is one of those. And I have to say, with all the people I have worked with in the past, friends, family, and colleagues, without a smidgen of exaggeration, the man you see on the screen is one of the nicest, kindest, most decent person I've ever met. I
Thank you
don't
so
care
much.
what he does for a living. He's the kind of person I am determined to help any way I can for the rest of my life. He is just a decent man. Thank you for joining us, Will. I love you and look forward to seeing you in person soon.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Alex. And prayers for your mom.
Sure. Great, Alex. Thank you for being here. Jen.
One of the things I might throw out there, Will, is a lot of companies right now, hopefully, have been thinking about planning for 2025.
Yes.
So for any companies who want to scale going into 2025, there's probably a good series of posts or content or marketing campaigns that I would be focusing on for LinkedIn, for example.
Mhm.
One might be a short video on here are the top 3 risks when it comes to people, and why Insperity is positioned to help as people might be thinking about scaling their teams into 2025.
Yes.
You also, as a company, have helped a lot of very interesting companies that people know, like Netflix, and others. And so sometimes those can be really helpful reminders that, hey, don't forget, Netflix had to start somewhere, right? And they worked with Insperity and they chose Insperity. So just a few marketing thoughts around creating a sense of urgency or at least a sense of curiosity as you go into marketing about you and Insperity in Q4 for the sake of 2025.
Thank you, Jen. That's an excellent point as well. And again, part of some of the strategies I've been trying to deploy as well through content, utilizing impressions and trying to take advantage of that from the marketing material that's being sent out. You know, a lot of this business is timing, as most of our businesses is timing. So it's just really kind of making sure that you properly align, you know, mutually collaborating with partners with business owners. So thank you so much.
Great answer. Kelly, you're on mute, but
We're all on mute. That's what life's all about, being on mute. Great presentation, Will. I went over to a company called Fiberlight. We used Insperity. They're very good, very helpful. We got back to people in time. Great presentation. I guess the only challenge I would say is when you talk about your competition, sometimes it's kind of, you know, people get negative on that, but you know, it is what it is. I think if you do a good presentation, you talk about your company, you know, let them figure out, you know, what their challenges are. Second thing I would recommend is Nexco for a networking group, not BNI, because Nexco is more business to business.
Yes.
Really good. I joined their company. I joined their organization a couple of years ago when I was in another company, and very good. They have a speed networking event every last day of every month, and so I just really check it out. But I'll send you a request to connect on LinkedIn, and you know, just I don't know if you go to Chambers or not. That might be another option, but well, anyway.
excellent, Kelly. Thank you. Amy?
My hand is actually raised for Alex.
Thank you, Amy. Just a quick point, Will. I tend to like to present my services in person in a group speaking engagement. I would love to see the audience work on maybe options for you to also speak to your audience. And I think you and I and a couple other service providers for entrepreneurs can put together a joint webinar or seminar in person and invite entrepreneurs in that would benefit from all our services on the panel. So keep that in mind. I'd really like to address that with you and a couple of other people who have shown interest to join us on the panel.
Thank you, Alex. And I'll say to this, to your point, Alex. One of the things that I really like about Insperity is that they're very inclusive of the business community. Anytime that we want to shape something similar to what Alex mentioned, you're all invited to the office, right? Just let me know like how you want to design that, and it could be in the format that Alex just mentioned, but know that that's an opportunity that's also available as well. It gives everyone a chance to really get a chance to know each other. Obviously, coming out of the pandemic, you want to be able to kind of visually see people and have discussions with folks. So that's an option for you as well that I offer to you.
Excellent. James is up. And Alex, keep texting Amy. She makes an excellent hand on your behalf. James.
Yeah. So well, just a couple of things. And I'm going to give you the advice that I gave your compadre, Mr. John Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Which is to say this. John Rutenberg's right. Get your client down to that whatever number is good for you. But we work on a premise of one target market that's got one big problem, create one solution. You've got a lot of different solutions. So that target market is going to have a very specific problem that you can solve.
Mhm.
And we want to market the very specific problem because some of these guys don't even know they have a problem. So you have to tell them what it looks like. How will it manifest itself
Mhm.
in their business? And then what I would do, I would build a webinar around that.
Ah,
I
okay.
would build one webinar. I wouldn't talk about Insperity. I talk about the problem they're going to have, how it manifests itself, and some of the things they can do to solve it. One of which is have a conversation with Will. 15 minutes. Let's talk. Just keep doing that.
Hammering that.
Don't
Yeah.
don't have a million marketing strategies run. Do
Yeah.
one thing and just pummel the hell out of it
Yeah.
for that target market. And I swear to God, you'll start to get conversations on results. Guaranteed.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you for the commentary on that. Again, yeah, speaking to how did I say? Speaking to the choir, or preaching to the choir. That's a lot of those things have been built into my business plan over the year to try to develop that. But to your point, again, that's an excellent way to go, and I look to do that going forward. So thank you.
Great question, great answer. I'm gonna go to Jen just because she's special, even though it's her second time before John.
You really just wanted me to go before John Norris, so let's call it what it is. I think, and Will, you mentioned this, Insperity has dedicated funds to support programming. I
Mhm.
think to James's point, if you did a monthly webinar and put some LinkedIn ad spend behind it, which you would have to coordinate with Insperity, or if you partnered with someone like a local bank,
Mm.
community bank, they could market it on your behalf. And you could, again, bring in those speakers. So I love James's point about webinar, one topic, but I do think from a brand standpoint and visibility, it takes people several events to really pay attention and attend.
Yeah.
And sometimes people might do one webinar, but then stop. I would say maybe do a series, like a series of 6 to kick off the new year, or a series of 3. And that way you can really plan the message, plan the partners, and who the speakers are that you sort of sponsor and help co-host the event with someone else. So you're not also on the hook for bringing everybody in the room. Because I think that is sometimes a challenge as well.
Yeah.
It's making
No,
sure you're not the only one marketing.
that's an excellent idea. Thank you so much. Excellent idea.
John Norse.
Hey, Will, do you work with like CPAs?
I
mean,
do.
Yeah, it seems to me that that would be a kind of simple person who knows their client, obviously knows their finances, knows they're growing, knows a lot about
Mhm.
their client. And it would just seem to me if they knew about pain points that their small business owners or mid-sized business owners are experiencing, they'd be like, hey, you can fix this, call my friend or something.
Yeah.
Just seems like a real natural handoff. I mean, you solve problems, CPAs will, tell the clients what problems they're having, or maybe not
Yeah.
HR related, but financially or benefits wise, or I don't know, just seems like a good market.
No, it is. Thank you, John, for that, because that is one of the groups that I've worked with in the past. I do have several I work with, but obviously, more that are kind of strategically aligned. I want to say one thing about CPAs that and something that maybe some of you might not know about, but there's a legislative position called the workforce WOTC workforce. Oh my goodness. WOTC is what it's called. I can't think of the name because I'm talking so fast right now, but essentially it's a tax credit that allows for you as a business owner, when you hire people that have struggled to be employed, military veterans, people that have been unemployed for 26 weeks or longer, could be incarcerated people, $2,400 to $9,600 per eligible employee can be deployed for the business owner as a tax credit, and they can do that right through their payroll. And so a lot of business owners don't know that, but a lot of that can be done through the use and working with a CPA. So, that's just something that I tend to try to work with on that in that regard.
Will, that's a great point, and if I may tie it to what John Norris and James Lawson and Jen have spoken about a bit, in that as you narrow into who your ideal client and prospect is, there are a couple of things. First, the pain points.
Yes.
Okay, because what you said to a smaller business that really can't buy the most economic insurance and has all the headaches, liabilities, that's a good smelling sound for pain point.
Mm-hmm.
By exposure and risk of employees, let alone all the headaches that you take away. Those are real pain points to the owner of the business who's trying to get the work out the
No,
door.
the nurse was here like about an hour ago, so it's
Alex, figure out how to put you up. He's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Back on. Okay. So the pain points and of the right size companies, and then
Mhm.
you don't sell cost containment outside of the human capital area. Am I correct?
Cost containment outside of the human capital area.
Correct.
Like workers' comp.
No, like saving money on supplies or shipping expense. Because my point,
No.
right, there
Right.
are allied professionals such as accountants and folks. We had a gentleman a few weeks ago from Schooley Mitchell that
Mhm.
does more on the administrative cost containment side. So
Yes.
meeting allied professionals who sell into the same GovCon space or nonprofit space of companies of 75 plus
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
begins to shape, and then supporting it with the appropriate webinar, seminar, three-part. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Consistent messaging to a narrow group of a couple of hundred. If you get 10% of 200, it's 20. And if it's 50 or 100 per company, whatever the number of lives you've just created,
Yeah.
it's like a home run.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I agree. I agree with you. And to your point, and one other thing I wanted to add, my own personal metric is to have introductions to 3 business owners every single week. 3 conversations every single week. And that might seem like it's easy to do, but it is difficult. So managing that through, your own endeavor of calling business owners, of being able to mutually align with partnerships in those particular areas, vertical CPAs, financial advisors and such. It's a fine line to that. And obviously time-wise, you got to be cognizant of that. So yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Would anyone else like to ask a question, please? Our newest attendees, feel free to. I see Norse maybe has his hand up again. John, you're up.
Hey, Will, a great way to get to CPAs is through continuing education. I believe they have to take like some crazy amount of hours, like 40 hours a year or something insane like that.
Yep.
If you could develop a class for 1 hour even on some aspect of whether it's HR, something that would be educational to a CPA, that program WOTC, whatever it might be,
Yeah.
you may attract for a very reasonable amount of money, people that get to hear you speak for an hour. And obviously, if you're likable, knowledgeable, and trustworthy after that hour, you've improved your opportunity for them to do business with you.
Excellent.
Just
That's
something
true.
to think about.
And I remember what WOTC was, guys. Work opportunity tax credit.
Okay. Thank you.
Getting a little
So
more mature, so can't remember these things.
I think we're going to end the Q&A session.
Hey,
And
John, actually, I think Effie had a comment she wanted to chime
good.
in before we wrap up.
Please.
All right, thank you. I was just going to say, everybody, that was said is exactly what I was thinking as well. But I was going to say, well, working LinkedIn is another option. Getting folks that are, in the business industry or the particular area that you're focusing on. I've actually participated in some presentations that were co-sponsored. And I think doing something like that is excellent. I just went to one yesterday. Having a speaker that has to speak about something very important to your particular area, and then co-sponsoring and then networking afterwards.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing yesterday. I've done it a few times. But LinkedIn I use a lot. And I think, John, you said if you have folks like we do, I go to these things, I take pictures, we post them on our LinkedIn site for the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And people see it and then they're like, hey, wait a minute. And then we tag you. So things like that. So
Okay. No, thank you so much.
And Maria. Thank you, Maria.
Yes, I posted the stuff in the chat, but I still wanted to mention that your LinkedIn profile needs some TLC for sure. One of the things I noticed is in your services, you have a list of services that
Mhm.
really don't speak to your client.
Okay.
Tell them what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. You know, connect more than a list, because you're not a list, and that's where you need to sell. You need to sell what you're going to do, how you're going to take that client and position it from the pain point to a better life, to a better work-life balance for your clients, and get into the emotional. Make them see where you can take them,
Gotcha.
because that way is like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. This is this, and I'm so tired about this. Hey, did you know the tax credits? Any single thing that will pop into your head, put
Mhm.
it on a post. I don't know if you use Canva. It makes it's a very simple,
Mhm.
and you can just go and I'll put it Canva.
Okay. Canva.
And
Okay.
yeah, Canva. And you
Gotcha.
can, it's a graphic software, so you can just put it has a lot of templates, and you can just start popping up, have an idea list on your phone or something, and something that pops, anything that will call or trigger some thoughts. It's like, oh, that was easy in
Mhm.
your day to day. Write them down and post that on your LinkedIn.
Gotcha.
That
Okay.
way you are, at one point, someone is going to cross that path, and um, and they're going to feel it's like, oh my God, I was there, or I'm here, or I see this. So you want to
Mhm.
get them, you want to trigger that kind of solution when they are in pain.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for that. That's an excellent
Okay.
suggestion. I appreciate that.
And now bounce the ball to Jen.
Well, the other thing wanted to add in is that working with most of the ideas you've heard today have been sort of a one-to-many. I do think in the HR space, it does require a lot of the know, like, and trust factor. So building up those relationships with CPAs, bankers, et cetera, is key.
Yeah.
The other places I would look at would be incubators, right? There are a lot of incubators in the DC market, which I think you're in the DC area.
Mhm.
So whether it's Georgetown, George Mason, whether it's places where people are renting office space together, right? So those are all things that I would look at, potentially speaking at, visiting, talking to, but getting out so people can meet you in person as well.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
So up to the very last question, and I'll have the honor. It's our tradition, Will, to ask, what else can our 1 Million Cups community do for you?
Yeah, I tell you, the suggestions that everyone has provided in the last, 10 minutes or so, 8 to 10 minutes or so, have been outstanding. And that actually has been very helpful for me to be able to organize my thoughts and organize my time. Because again, time gets away from you at any point. So this to me, again, within the last 8 to 10 minutes has been excellent for me. So I'll definitely take that into account. Appreciate you all.
So as we come near the end of our meeting, Jen, I'll turn it back to you.
Sure thing. We do have an opening next week. We are hybrid. So if you are interested in presenting in person at Mason Enterprise Center, please let us know. We have several applicants in the pipeline. But if you did join today and you think that you might want to be an organizer, please consider joining us for a meeting, learning more about it, seeing what it is about. James Lawson, do you want to pull out a couple of events that you think are good for people to attend?
Yeah, there's certainly a couple in here. So on 7th of November, Dulles Regional Chamber is running their Innovate 2024, which is a regional workforce and housing seminar, creating solutions. That's the Innovate is something that I actually started back in 2016 with the chamber, and it's a great event, so you should really go. We've got Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce have their young professionals happy hour on the 1st of November. And then we have Wrestling Chamber doing their GovCon series, how AI transforms contract procurement process. So if you're in the government space, that is definitely something you want to go look at, because AI is just changing everything that we're all doing. Dawn Peters is running her, I think it's either monthly or now bi-monthly Big Business Network mixer at Chima in Tysons, which is always a great event. There's over 100 people always turn up to that. So if you're in the area and you should really go check that out. And then our friend Sam Bryson, who presented here at 1MillionCups EOS Implementer, that's the entrepreneurial operating system. He's running a workshop at the Mason Enterprise Center on 13th of November. Are you running your business or is it running you? Yes, to both those things. and Sam is such a great presenter. But yeah, if you're in business, I would certainly go check that one out. I think it's going to be outstanding. So that's 5 really good events that are coming up in the next week or two that you should certainly go check out for sure. And Jen, can we copy and paste that right into the chat? I was trying, I can't because I'm not handling this.
I will. I'll be happy to do that. And Kelly, I see you have your hand raised. Do you have an event you want to highlight?
No, but I was trying to click on the links, but it didn't work. So never mind.
Oh, yes. You can keep trying, but it will not work. But I will drop all
Not
those
gonna
in
work.
chat momentarily. Again, as we said, we are looking for presenters for November. We have several in the pipeline, but if you are interested before the holidays get here, even though they feel like they're already here, it can be a good time to market your business. It can be a good time to share a business who wants people to be thinking about them as soon as January comes around. So again, we are not meeting the week of Thanksgiving, but we do have 3 opportunities in November to present. So grab those spots before they are booked. You can follow us on social. We would appreciate that. If you scan that QR code, you will also see the link to apply. And lots of people are wanting to get visibility. Sometimes they aren't so excited about making slides. We actually provide a link in that QR code too, that if you fill it out, it automatically creates the slides for you. It's very magical. So we try to make this process as easy as possible to come here, share something about your business, and ask for help. So again, if there is someone you know, a business owner that you think would benefit from sharing, maybe they're trying to pivot next year, maybe they need help with hiring and they're trying to figure out who's that next best hire, any of these types of challenge questions that our group can help you think through, we're more than happy to do so. So again, please apply and we'll help you get started.
Hey, Jen, I have a question for the group. So one of the things that the organizers realized is we have some number of attendees, some of whom may come regularly, but they've never actually signed up at 1MillionCups. And it's helpful to us for those of you may not even know that you can sign up at 1MillionCups/Fairfax. But when you do sign up, you're therefore in the master list. And therefore, to the extent that as a group of organizers, we are communicating to the group, you'll get everything. And so I believe that our Zoom registration lists probably contain folks who have never gone to 1MillionCups/Fairfax and actually registered. So if you can do that, that'll be awesome. It's just www.1millioncups.com/Fairfax. And it's not the greatest website in the world, but somewhere fairly prominent. I'm sure it says, look at Jen. She's probably going to it as we speak. But anyway, if you can do that, that would be awesome. Thank you.
I did put a link to the website in chat. You can click on that. Anybody interested in the events, you also will find the links in that in chat as well. So again, if you didn't get a chance to scan to check in, you can scan there. I'm going to keep the meeting open. I'm going to stop us being live on Facebook, and I'll also stop recording.